Hi, it's Maria from Women into Wellness. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 7 lifestyle changes that you need to make in order to manage, heal and reduce your diastasis recti. So stay tuned with me for that. Welcome to my channel, Women into Wellness. This is where I share with you tools, tips and strategies pertaining to movement, nutrition and mindfulness and lifestyle to help you feel fantastic and maximize your potential for wellness. This video is part of a whole series that I have on diastasis recti, which we also sometimes couple alongside the term mummy tummy. So make sure you check out those videos as well. I will link them down below. And if you are looking for the safest and most effective solution to manage, reduce and heal your own diastasis recti, then I have a solution for you, because I have a whole course that is specifically designed just to heal your diastasis recti. I will give you some more information about that at the end of this video, and there's also a link to it below. So let's get started. The first is that you really need to understand exactly what a diastasis recti is and what is causing the diastasis recti. Because when you really know what it is and you understand the anatomy and the physiology behind it, and you know what the causational factors are, then it's going to allow you to be able to make those empowered and informed decisions where you're coming from a place of understanding. So it's all good and well for me to give you the strategies, the tips and the tools and tell you just do this, just do that. Maybe that's the way that you like to work, but you're more likely to get better results if you know exactly why you are doing things, because in isolation, any one strategy or tactic can be effective. But when you have mindfulness behind it, you know why you're doing it, it also makes you more intelligently apply it, so that you can then adapt that to this situation or that situation or something else that happens in your life, because you truly understand what is going on and why you're doing it and what factors are actually going to affect the diastasis in terms of helping you heal it faster and more effectively, or in fact be detrimental to your progress and make it worse or take you 2 steps backwards. So it's really important to have that sort of groundwork or foundational information there, so that you can make empowered decisions, not only now, but then to apply that through your life through any different factors or things that come into play and affect you. It's also really important because when you understand something and you know the why, the reason why you're doing something, it provides a lot of the motivating force, that internal drive to make you actually make those lifestyle changes and take the steps forward. So we always come from a place of empowerment, having some knowledge and having that there so that you can make informed choices, but also have the motivation to know the reason why you're doing something, and therefore be more likely to commit and do it on a regular basis to get the results and the transformation that you desire and require. Now, as I said, there are 7 of them. So let's get straight into number 2. You're going to be looking at your posture and alignment. Now, this is so important and it is often overlooked. We just focus so much on the tummy, right? The appearance of the tummy or the ineffectiveness of that tummy. What we really need to be looking at is the body as a whole, taking this global approach. So you need to address your posture because everything interconnects. If you think about how your fascia and all of your muscles interconnect across those joints, across those muscles, those limbs, that core, throughout the spine, then you'll understand that really when you address your posture, you are allowing yourself to reset your musculoskeletal alignment so that it is better allowing you to be in optimized position so that your body can heal the diastasis recti. Because when your posture is out of alignment, and by posture I'm talking about your shoulder girdle, the position of your spine, and most importantly your pelvic girdle, so your pelvis, when they are out of alignment, what happens is you get overstretched, over-lengthened, weak muscles, and then these are opposed by over-tight, shortened and really strong muscles. And there's not a balance between the 2 opposing muscle groups. Now, these can be on the front and the back of the body. They oppose each other on one side and on the other side of the body. And they could be, for example, those that exist within the core as a whole, which is a 4-part muscular system, if you like. We're looking at the diaphragm at the top, pelvic floor at the bottom, the muscles of the back in the back of the body, and then the muscles of the core, not only in the front, but that wrap round that whole entire core. So you really need to address your posture. Now, this is your posture not only when you are just standing, because once you've learned what your posture should look like and you're focusing, it's kind of fairly easy to start to recorrect yourself in terms of your standing posture, but also in your transitional posture. So how you move between different positions. So from standing, how you move into sitting safely and effectively, how you move from that down into all fours or kneeling, or from a chair, for example, into all fours and kneeling, or down onto the floor, how you then actually lie down and then get back up and reverse it safely and effectively, all whilst managing your diastasis recti, knowing that you have a compromised core, and being able to do this in a way that's not going to make your diastasis recti worse, but it's actually going to work with you and help you to rehabilitate your core. So very important: posture, standing, sitting, kneeling, for example, lying, and then the transition through those posture. And then let's add on to that also your movement posture, and particular your walking posture, which is we call your gait. So how you walk even can affect your ability to heal, cure, manage your diastasis recti. Really, really important. Now, as I said, I cover all of these things that I'm going to mention with you in my diastasis recti course, which will be linked below. So please do check it out after you've watched the entirety of this video if you are looking to finally heal, manage, reduce, and cure your diastasis recti. I'm just going to add on to that one point: shoes. Another really important factor. The right type of shoe that you wear when you are walking and moving is so important as to whether you offset your postural alignment, therefore offset your gait and your walk, and make your diastasis recti more persistent so it stays with you longer, or in fact make it worse. Now, the next one of these is your breathing and your core synergy. Now, breathing is so important because it interacts with this whole barrel of the core. You'll hear me keep mentioning it, it's because it's so important. You have the diaphragm at the top, pelvic floor at the bottom, the muscles of the back. You also have the muscles of the abdomen at the front, the sides, and that wrap around. And then also all those intercostal muscles within the rib cage, particularly through breathing. Now, if you have not addressed your breathing technique and your breathing pattern, what can happen is that you can basically have maladaptive breathing patterns or breathing technique. This is where you, for example, either breathe high up into the chest, or even worse for a diastasis recti, you're breathing by blowing out into the belly. Now, what should naturally happen is that on your exhale, your abdominal muscles, gently contract. That diaphragm lifts up, the air expels out through the body, the rib cage contracts sideways and from front to back, okay? What we want to make sure is that that is happening, but what can often happen is that you even have a reverse of that pattern where everything happens in the opposing way that it should. So, for example, when you breathe out, your belly blows outwards. Now, this can be a huge problem for diastasis recti, for pelvic floor, which can then have effects on your incontinence and ability to maintain bladder control and things like that. So if you don't have your breathing correct, it can not only make your diastasis recti worse because you're blowing out air through the front wall, it can also go out through the pelvic floor, making continence worse. But also, if you are not breathing effectively, optimally, in the way that your body is designed to, which by the way is lateral thoracic 360 breath into the side of the body and to the back of the rib cage, then you are missing out on one of the hugely vital components of physiology that is going to nourish your body by oxidating your body, by allowing you to manage and reduce stress, by tapping into that parasympathetic nervous system, which is the one that allows you to rest, digest, and just bring your levels down and feel more chilled and calm. You're losing all of that aspect as well because you're breathing ineffectively. And worse still, when you are not able to manage your breath, you're not able to manage internal pressure when you are going about activities of daily living or doing things like lifting, whether that's lifting furniture, lifting your child, carrying your shopping, lifting your own body weight throughout a workout, or even just getting yourself up off of the floor. So breathing is so important. It's often overlooked. It's part of this whole integrated holistic aspect of healing the diastasis recti that we really need to focus on. And if you want to get your breathing on point, of course, it is included in the course, which I have linked below. Myofascial and muscular release strategies. These are a vital component towards being able to heal a diastasis recti. Now, if we know anything about the body, we of course know that we have a lot of muscles, and by now you may have heard of myofascia. This is the connective tissue that surrounds and innervates the muscles of the body and the organs within the body as well, the soft tissues. It interconnects everything. Now, what can happen, this can often get stuck in positions, it can get glued up, it can create, develop adhesions, which is like knots, like thinking of muscular knots and things. But basically where it becomes glued up, matted together, stuck, it becomes in a position where it's no longer flexible, it's not as malleable, it doesn't have the ability to strengthen, lengthen and move and slide across itself as much as it should. Now, what typically happens when you have a diastasis recti is, you remember I talked about posture and you have these stretched out muscles. Well, the myofascia that surround and innervates those muscles can also become stuck in positions where it's either stuck too short and tight or too long, and it just stays adhered in this position. And what this does is it helps hold those muscles also in those maladaptive, overstretched or over tight positions. So what you want to do, if you think of this myofascia like it's usually slippy and slidey, it's now become like a dried glue. You need to be able to hydrate and manipulate and move that myofascia so that it starts to gain back some of its slip and slidiness, some of its flexibility and mobility, and therefore it allows the muscles to release so that the muscles can then return more to an optimal length in terms of whether they need to be slightly shortened or lengthened comparative to their counterbalancing muscle group. So you need to be able to do that, and the way that you're going to do that is through myofascial release strategies and techniques. Now this can be things like massage, it can be done through foam rolling, you can do self-massage or go and get a professional one, but lots of different techniques and strategies, stretching routines, things like yoga. You need to know what to do and which parts of the body to be able to do them on, particularly those that are going to affect a diastasis recti, whilst remembering that the body exists as a global whole unit. So something that happens in one part of the body, for example, the foot, can affect right up here on the top of your head because you have a myofascial line that connects that whole way up through the body. So we can look at things in isolation, we can look at doing abdominal massage techniques to release that stuck tissue and the fascia that's surrounding and encasing that diastasis recti, but we also want to take a global approach and look at stretching out the whole body. So really important to not miss out this step, because if you've done a bit of research, you will know that you need to strengthen your core. You could be doing all of the correct core strengthening exercises. You may have your breathing in check, you may be addressing your posture, but if you've not released the stuck fascia, you are going to be working against yourself, okay? Because things are going to be glued up and stuck up and you will not be optimizing your results. So really important myofascial release strategies and techniques, all of which are included in the program that I have linked below. So this leads us on to the next part, which is of course exercise. You need to be rehabilitating those muscles in the body. So important. So if you've got over tight muscles, you need to be stretching them, releasing them, lengthening them. You do this through stretch exercises, myofascial release, things like yoga and stretch routines. You also then need to strengthen the weakened muscles that have been elongated and overstretched for long periods of time. And you do this by putting them under tension. This tension can be body tension, body load, or by using external resistance, using things like bands, dumbbells, all those kind of weight-bearing exercises using weight-bearing equipment. So this is so important. Exercise cannot be missed as part of the rehabilitative process, because you will only get so far. Even if you do all of these other 6 things, it will only get you so far, because if you never provide that core with the strength that it needs and the exercises that are going to give it that strength, then you are never going to get back that tensile strength, which is one of the pillars of knowing that you have rehabilitated your core. Okay, you need to make the core strong again, but you need to do this in a safe and progressive manner with the most effective exercises that are not going to hinder your progression or make your diastasis recti get worse, because that would be the worst case scenario. So you need to be understanding what are the right type of exercises and taking a safe and progressive approach, and understand how to check yourself to know whether you are progressing yourself too fast and at risk of doing yourself further harm or damage or delaying your healing process, so that you really understand, you're moving in step-by-step, manageable, incremental ways, progressively, safely and effectively, so that you're constantly moving forward and not taking one step forward and two steps back. I cover all of these exercises for you. You have a complete, fully phased routine that is included in this program. It's specifically designed for you to heal your diastasis recti, and what it's going to cover in there is not only the exercises you should be doing, but it's also going to cover what you should not be doing, so that when you're going out and planning recreational activities or doing exercise on your own, or you're going on a holiday, you can really be mindful and empowered to choose the sort of exercise that is going to hinder you while you're in this healing phase of your journey. Nutrition, so important for everything in terms of your wellness, but particularly with a diastasis recti for a few different reasons. Number one being that your diastasis recti, as we said, consists of these muscles and this connective tissue of the linea alba. Now, the linea alba being made of connective tissue means that it needs to be hydrated. So you need to know how much water you're drinking and keep your hydration on point. But it also needs collagen in order for it to be as healthy as it should, and to have that ability to sort of re-knit back together and draw those sides of that six-pack, the abdominal muscles, back together to close that gap. And you're only going to do this really by taking on board collagen building or collagen dense foods in your diet. So you need to know what sort of foods you can be eating to do that. So have some easy recipes. You don't want really big faffy things that you're not going to do and follow through with. So really easy recipes, things like smoothies, salads, one pot cooking. I love things like stews are amazing. Things like bone broth, if you do eat animal products, these can also be great. You can use supplements for this. So it's how to get on board that collagen to really support that ability of the collagen, of that connective tissue to fuse together to enable you to really heal that gap within the body. And then we talked about the muscles, of course, because we're looking at strengthening muscles. It's so important that you take on enough protein, the right type of food, so that you can build healthy muscular tissue combined with your exercise routine. There's another aspect to nutrition as well, which is also going to cover what sort of foods not only you should be eating. So we talked about the protein, we've talked about the collagen, but a lot of other healthy foods that you can do that's going to support your journey in terms of you being able to rebuild tissue, because it's a whole entire healing process. So you need to be taking on nutrient dense foods, whole foods as best as you can, a lot of plant-based foods, so that you are nourishing your body with the minerals, with the vitamins, with all of the phytonutrients that are conducive towards healing the body. So really important that you do that. And not only that, it's important to know what foods you should be avoiding, because they are going to hinder the healing process. So what foods you should be cutting out. You shouldn't be having as many things like caffeine, the processed foods. All of this is something that you need to be very aware of. But like I said, it's no good being aware of it and then not being able to apply it into a busy lifestyle. So you want to be able to have access to really quick, creative, nutrient dense and delicious ideas, whether that's recipes, whether it's learning how you can actually put together your smoothie, or how you can build something into your diet that's going to help you create a plan that you might have to work around your family. I've got all of this covered and included in the program, because you get recipes that are quick and easy to use. You get all of your markers as to what you should be eating. You get things like shopping lists as well, so that you have it all covered, and it makes it so easy for you to embed. Because if you can heal your body from the inside out with nutrition, you are going to really be able to maximize your results. And the final aspect that you need to be looking at, which is so important as well, I mean, I keep saying this, but it's because they all are important. And when you put them all together with this holistic approach, then you really are able to absolutely have the ability to deal with. Now, the last one of these elements, often overlooked, is the aspect of rest, recovery, sleep, stress management and mindfulness. Now, it sounds like I've just bundled a whole lot of things together, but you'll see why they all interplay. Because if we look at this from the point of view of that this is a healing and recovery phase of your life, you need to be getting enough rest to allow those tissues the time to heal. So that means having enough sleep in your life, good high quality sleep, having a good sleep routine or having a good nighttime ritual so that it really allows you to get good uninterrupted amount of sleep, because that's when a lot of the healing in the body takes place, right? It's also being able to give yourself time to rest, not only through the day, but initially, especially if you're postnatal, in that early postnatal recovery period, to have that rest as well. But building in these rest periods throughout the day. So this comes into this aspect of self-nurturing, to have moments of downtime, not only physically for your body, but mentally and emotionally. And this is where it phases into the mindfulness aspect as well. Because when you are giving your brain a time out, you are allowing it to have clarity of mind, peace of mind, to be able to just down-regulate, stop internal chatter by using things like mindfulness techniques. Then what you're doing is you're tapping into that all-important mind-body connection, which is so important for not only healing, but self-awareness and self-nurturing. So that you are then, it's almost like you're topping yourself up, you're replenishing yourself to always be thinking, I can put myself best first. What is the best thing I can do for myself today to heal myself or to be on my journey? How can I have more energy to do the things that I need to be doing? So it allows you to tap into that. It also, and I alluded to this earlier, it allows you to tap into that parasympathetic nervous system, which is like the rest, the digest, this healing component of the body. And like I said, a lot of healing happens in sleep, but also if you can create pockets in your day where you just take the stresses away from your mind, your emotions and your body, then you have more resources to put into that healing process. So it makes sense, doesn't it, to reduce stress. You're going to reduce the stress by taking time out for yourself, having self-nurturing moments in the day, doing mindfulness activities, whether it's guided meditation, whether it's going out walking in nature or doing some active meditation, and then also through having that high quality sleep and rest at night. So I bundled them all together. Hopefully you can see why there is a reason, because as I said, everything with wellness and well-being is so intertwined. This is why everything I do comes from, my unique strategy and system is the holistic approach. And that is exactly what I give you within the Diastasis Recti course. So I've shared with you all of the different elements that are going to interplay into your Diastasis Recti healing journey. Now, if you really want to get serious about healing your diastasis recti in a safe way and in an effective way where you are progressing gently, enabling you to not only manage and reduce that diastasis recti, but getting to the point where you feel like it's healed and you've really rehabilitated your core, then my course is for you. I've popped a link down below. You can also find the details on www.womenintowellness.com. But what this course does is it provides a beautiful package for you that you can do in the comfort of your own home. It's an online course. All the materials are delivered online so that you can put into place all of these 7 different strategies. Now, this is my unique proprietary system. You won't get this system anywhere else. It's designed specifically with diastasis recti recovery in mind. So it's going to cover all of these bases. It's going to allow you to heal it, have all of the knowledge that you need, have all of the strategies, and have all of the tools. So as I said, you've got the workouts. It's a fully phased workout program for you. It's also got in there things like the recipes. You've got guided meditations. You've got tips on how to maximize your sleep and have quality rest for the healing process. You've got breathing technique patterns in there. I go through everything for you, including myofascial release, massage videos, how to do your diastasis recti check, and then making sure that you embed and bundle this all up within a beautiful self-nurturing routine that is going to get you the results that you want to heal your diastasis recti. And don't forget, when we're looking at healing diastasis recti, you're not only thinking about closing that gap, you're thinking about reducing the depth that you can dip into that gap, increasing the tensile strength and the integrity, and also making sure you don't have that pooching and that blowout through the front wall. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then check out the video below that I have linked that is going to talk to you about how to do a diastasis recti check and when you know that you have healed your diastasis recti. Now, I hope you've gotten a lot out of this video. Like I said, if you really want the solution that's going to get you to that goal of healing your diastasis recti, then check out the course. Now, if you found the video useful, then please go ahead, not only give me a thumbs up, but most importantly, share the video, because other women like you need to know that there is a solution out there, or they at least need to know the 7 things they need to focus on to heal their diastasis recti if they're going to go it alone. Thank you for watching as always. Take care of yourself. I hope to see you in the next video, and until then, I wish you well.